Arvin. I'm one of the prosecutors together with Sheila Wynn.
Spell your last name, Betty.
Arvin, V as in Victor.
And tell us first just what happened in the court today.
Today, Daniel Lopez, who is charged with 5 cases of sexual assault, entered pleas of guilty on all 5 of the cases, 5 separate victims. The judge accepted his plea and he was found guilty and will be received a 20-year sentence.
And how much will he have to serve before he's eligible for parole?
He will have to serve a minimum of 10 years, which is half the sentence, before he's first eligible for parole. And eligibility does not mean that he will be paroled then.
Is this considered a victory for the state?
I think it's a victory for our victims because this defendant actually did the right thing today by owning up to what he did. And he's going to the penitentiary, which is where he belongs for these types of offenses.
And then I guess my last question would be, when you have a government employee, a police officer sworn to protect the community, charged with this type, pleading guilty to this type of a crime, as a prosecutor, how do you feel? What does that make you feel?
Well, certainly it's a terrible crime anytime a person is raped, but when that perpetrator is a police officer, that just takes it to another level. This is a person who is sworn to uphold the law, sworn to protect people, and not only did he violate the trust of the victims, he also violated the trust of the community, and he violated the trust of the other police officers with whom he worked day in and day out.
It was mentioned that as part of this plea, he will not be prosecuted federally. Can you tell us what federal charges he might have been facing had he not taken this plea agreement?
They were looking into what types of charges they could bring. I don't know all of the different charges they were looking at, but certainly any time a law enforcement officer is involved in illegal behavior, that's something that gets the federal authorities' attention as well as the state authorities.
E-E-T-T-Y?
Yes, and if I could just add one other thing. I cannot emphasize enough the outstanding work that the Fort Worth Police Department Special Investigations Unit did. Thanks to their outstanding work, some of whom are here today, this defendant was brought to justice and these victims received justice. And I want people out there to know, and victims out there to know, and the public to know that just because it's a police officer, that doesn't matter. It will be investigated, and if a case can be made, they will bring it to us, and we will do our best to prosecute it to the fullest extent of the law. And just, again, I can't thank them enough. They did outstanding work on these cases, and we wouldn't be here today but for the outstanding work they did. And we are very appreciative, and I know all of the victims involved were very appreciative.